I'm sure people will come in as we go along. Let me just remind those people who are really interested in the retreat also. Okay, I have reminded a few people. Hi, Surya. I think some people will join as we go along. Let's get started. Welcome, Dr. Ram Gopal Krishnan. And it's a bit odd for me to call you that way, but for the purpose of the webinar, someone who I know as Gopal, I'll call as Dr. Ram Gopal Krishnan. Just to introduce, Vidya, I'm sure you know, Surya and Hema both live in Singapore. Surya is a banker, and Hema was previously a dentist who was teaching dentistry and then moved on to, now she's past her teaching age and she's now a grandma taking care of her grandchildren. So there are others who have sent me some questions also to ask, and let's get started. So Hema, Surya, Vidya, as you all know, and for the rest of you listening to the recording, as you all know, we are planning a retreat in Jan. Um, okay, sorry. There's someone who's asking for the link, so I'm just going to send it to them. Okay. We are planning this retreat in January, and the essence of what we are discussing today, and which we will also be experiencing, not just discussing, at the retreat, is about things that have become very commonplace these days. We have a number of people who are close to us with cardiac conditions. We who have had We've even lost dear ones due to that. We've also had people who are more universal in terms of the women's health issues. And also, we've had people who have had either themselves or parents. Some of them are due to overactive work, have knee, back issues, and those who are dealing with parents with similar issues. I just wanted to restrict our conversation today to these because this itself is a very full agenda for today. I just wanted to give a flavor of what's coming up. I wanted to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Meenakshi. Um, Meena Gopal just wanted to take this time to also inform you that I will share this recording with everybody else. I just wanted to make sure that we got this
You're
done.
breaking up. You're breaking up.
Is that right? You can't hear me?
Subha, you're breaking up.
So right now you can't hear me? Hello?
You're breaking up. It's muffled.
Is it any better?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I'll be sharing the recording with a bunch of people who are not able to join this live. And let's just take this forward and make sure that we get the message across to everybody. First of all, let me begin with introducing two experienced doctors here, Dr. Meenakshi Swaminathan and Dr. Ram Gopal Krishnan, who, after their postgraduate studies in India, went on to the UK for further studies and also for further work there, and then beyond that to the US to complete the AB and also to work there before they came back to India to work for close to 30 years now. That's right. So I know, highly experienced across multiple cultures and also different contexts. And I'm sure it'll be a valuable conversation today and also for those who come to the retreat. Uh, what's the link again? I find it very strange, but uh, Vidya, are you able to access your WhatsApp or you want me to post it here? I sent the link on the WhatsApp. Let me send it once again if that's easier, both here and on the WhatsApp. Okay, here we go. So let me begin with a question to both Dr. Meenakshi and to Dr. Ram Gopalkrishnan. What do you see today as, is it today's lifestyle that causes us to be in this mode, which where we are having frequent occurrences of what we could call lifestyle, but also what are, how come we never had these women's health and cardiac issues in the past? And how come suddenly all this is coming to the fore? How come people, or were they always there, but we are giving more attention to this?
Okay, I'll take that. And then Meenakshi can chip in later. These issues were always there, so Subha. These are all old issues, well known to medical science for the last anywhere from 50 to 70 years. A couple of things that have made them come to the foreground. One, we have much better awareness. If you're aware there's a problem, if it's there in the media, if it affects you, or if it affects a loved one, you are much more likely to pay attention to it and do something about it. And the second issue is we as a population are aging. The average lifespan of any individual, any country has gone up. So many of these are diseases of aging. Not that they don't affect young people, but the older you are, statistically, the more likely you are to have these issues. So for both these reasons, they are in the forefront now. And now it's not just being aware of these diseases. We have a lot of solutions we can offer people both at the individual level and at the public health level to help people solve these issues.
Thank you very much, Gopal. Meenakshi, over to you if you're able to speak. I wanted to ask you about
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still outside. I just finished my clinic. So I'm waiting for the car. And so I will just add to this. I think in addition to the reasons that Ram, my husband, already talked about, I think we're also a society that has packed a lot into our lives. That is, when we say lifestyle choices, there is a lot of pressure to accomplish, to achieve, to perform. There is a lot of pressure to continue to do this also as we age. So one is we are dealing a lot with mind-body connections, which are put to the test every day in our current society. The second I feel is something, without using the word stress, I'm saying, yes, it is our lifestyle, which encompasses a lot, include other over stress. The second thing I feel is also that we are increasingly exposed to more toxins, toxins that come to us in every form, from microplastics in our in our water, and pollution in our air. And we know some of the cities, especially in India, have some of the worst air quality in the world. And a lot of our farm products come from a lot of pesticides that are used liberally. So I think we are struggling with these pollutants which the major effect of these could be in the form of cancer. And cancer itself is more as we age. And in addition, these, I think, put us at a risk for cancer. I think these are two things I want to add at this point.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi and Ram. So what I got from both of you is, I'm just going to capture Ram's points. He says, these were all there in the past too. However, with us living longer, these have become more prevalent. And Meenakshi's point was, we are all trying to pack so much into our life that's also accentuating this situation. In addition to the quality of the air, the quality of the food, and all of that we consume, the risk to our health and well-being, in all of these forms, whether it's cancer or others, has also gone up, particularly cancer. That's what she was mentioning. So given this, I just wanted to take a few examples of these. And I wanted to start with something very simple, very relevant for all of us, which I feel is almost all encompassing, which is musculoskeletal health. As we age, as we live longer, this is something which can very easily get compromised, isn't it, Ram? That, if you don't give attention to it, and then it has a downward spiral on various other things.
Yeah, I'll just make some general comments, and Meenakshi can chip in regarding specific women's issues in this area. So musculoskeletal issues are, if you want me to phrase it quite simply, use it or lose it. So if you keep using your muscles and your bones and your body physically, then you retain their function for the majority of your lifespan, assuming you don't have other health issues. What happens is, because of our modern sedentary lifestyle, most of us have gravitated from doing manual labor or physical labor for a work to higher income jobs, which involves sitting in an office in front of a desktop or sitting in one place, which basically involves a sedentary lifestyle where you don't use muscles, you don't use your walking muscles, you don't use your lifting muscles, you don't use your muscles, and you certainly don't strain yourself cardiovascularly. Where we used to walk to the nearby neighborhood store to pick up our groceries, we would take a car or we would get into public transport. So just simple things like that increase our sedentary lifestyle. So if you're going to have a lifestyle in front of a sedentary lifestyle, which is going to make you a higher income, then you have to compensate for it by setting aside an hour or two a day for physical activity, because the more you use your bones, your ligaments, your joints, the suppler they're going to be and the longer they're going to last. So we have to make up for what we lose in terms of through for most bone and joint problems.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I guess also that progressively, if you don't attend to this, it will have a knock-on effect on cardiovascular health and on other matters, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Also, women's health, what Meenakshi was mentioning in her trivia that she had shared with me. So, therefore, attending to this becomes important. So, what would you recommend if I were to take one recommendation or one or two recommendations with respect to musculoskeletal health? What specifics would you say? Is it walking is enough? Everyone talks about walking.
Well, walking is the building block, I would say. That is the sine qua non, or that's what you should start with. That is something which each and every one of us can do. If you have a specific problem, say a knee issue which prevents you from walking, you can cycle, or you can do an EFX machine, or you can get into a swimming pool and swim or do a water-based exercise. So basically, for 30 minutes a day, you need to walk. That is the official WHO recommendation. You need to do moderate intensity exercise for 30 minutes a day. If you're physically fitter and you can swim or you can jog or you can play a racket sports, 15 minutes a day is enough. So 5 times a week, 30 minutes of light exercise or 15 minutes of more strenuous exercise is recommended. In addition, WHO recommends that you do some form of strength training. It could just be, using your own body weight, sit-ups, squats, etc. Or it could be at a gym in a more formal way, a couple of times a week, and at least one day where you do stretching. The best way of stretching, as you know it, you're the expert here, Subha, would be yoga. But even if you don't do yoga, just informal stretches to keep your muscles and ligaments supple is recommended.
So, 15-minute intense every day, or 30-minute at a more relaxed pace.
That's right.
And added on to that would be some resistance training and stretching, at least a couple of times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. Great, fantastic. Meenakshi, are you able to pitch in with respect to women?
Yeah, I want to add now I've moved from the outdoors to the car, so it's quieter. I want to add on to what Ram has already said. So, we are naive in thinking just if we go out and walk every day, that's enough. But in truth, especially when we think about women's health, where there is bone loss as we age, which is called by the term osteoporosis. So this is one of the most incapacitating, leads to some of the most incapacitating fractures that particularly women over the age of 70 are prone for, which is hip fracture and Colles fracture or fracture of the knee, where you fall on an outstretched hand and you break the wrist. So these can be very disabling, and one of the most important causes for the bone thinning is the lack of estrogen. Once you cross menopause, there is a lack of estrogen. And so when estrogen is missing, the bone starts thinning. So these can be offset by not just weight bearing exercise, which is walking, and a little bit, even a little light dance if you like to dance. In addition, when you talk about weight bear, when you talk about muscle strengthening, when we look back at our say parents' lifestyle, there was a lot of hauling. There was carrying stuff from here to there, and there was physical, lifting and pushing, and a lot of these things which have all gone away. Now, as you know very well, and you can talk more about it, yoga, while people think it is more for flexibility and stretching, is really a great way to also add strength training in the correct form of correct postures. And it also brings in the element of core strength and the breath. So yoga, when taught and practiced correctly, can also include these dimensions of well-being, of musculoskeletal well-being. So I just wanted to add that.
Very powerful. Core strength, I think, is very, very important point that you raised, because otherwise each of us is landing up with back issues due to poor core strength. I wanted to ask this estrogen issue. I think you had mentioned it.
Subha, over to you. Is your screen frozen?
Can you hear me, or you can't? Cannot?
Yeah, I think Subha's screen is frozen.
Okay.
Does it make any difference now? I'm having
North Indian food, right? But we've adapted here. So does it make sense for us to have wheat and quinoa, or just stick to the local food?
Yeah, that's like saying, is an imported car better than an Indian car? Or your own country's car. So that's more of a philosophical question. In general, if your country's car does the job, takes you from point A to point B, you stick with that. If it's not doing well, or you feel a need for supplementation, you use something else. So one thing is certain, from an ecological point of view, from an environmental point of view, the environmental cost of importing, say, quinoa from across the world and eating it here is very high. So you're not doing the environment any good, rather than if you eat whatever is locally grown and sourced. However, from an individual point of view, it doesn't matter. If you like quinoa and it works for you, sure, go ahead and use it. So,
I'd like to ask, as you age, do you get, sort of tolerance to certain food and intolerance to certain food? Because, you get things like gastro GERD, or things like that that develops, and then sometimes they say, wheat is not good for you, so but the thing is, it's very hard to say cheese cannot be taken, milk cannot be taken in. So this sort of, a lot of information, but not really pertinent to you, maybe, because we're not sure.
Yeah, there is a lot of information and misinformation out there. Certainly, diseases like GERD, that's gastroesophageal reflux disease, are common as you get older. GERD has an association with being overweight. GERD also has an association with aging. So, both of these are risk factors as you grow older. So, GERD is more likely. But what is important is a correct diagnosis. If you're not tolerating a food, why are you not tolerating it? Is it GERD? Is it some allergy? Is it some other intestinal disease? So you can't kind of say X food is bad in a blanket fashion. You probably need to consult a doctor if you're having stomach issues, get a correct diagnosis and take it from there.
I wanted to ask something specific. I just want to build on what Meenakshi was saying. Sorry, I got knocked off by the network. Uh, Meenakshi, you were mentioning that those who are 70 plus have this challenge of estrogen reduction and associated issues. But there's only, I think on this call, there's only one person I have who's 70 plus. Possibly some of the people who are um, listening to it later will be. So the question is two parts to this question I wanted to ask. One is taking calcium supplements good enough? Can I just pop a few pills and I shall be sorted with respect to bone density? Or is there something else I need to do? And second is, if I'm not 70, do I need to worry about this?
Okay, so I mentioned 70 only in the context of a fracture. But truthfully, osteoporosis starts from about 30 years of age.
Wow.
So, yeah, so if you have, and it has a familial tendency as well. So if you're, either of your parents or grandparents, uncles, aunts sustained fractures easily in their, late 60s, 70s, then you have to start thinking that maybe you have a genetic propensity to develop osteoporosis. And, without going into too much details, there are ways in which you can monitor your bone density. Okay. So the figures 70 is only in terms of fractures, but osteoporosis is something that happens way, way earlier. It starts way earlier, and it's accelerated after menopause by the lack of estrogen. Right.
Thank you.
So that is the first answer to the first part of your question. The second is when you are asking about, can you just take calcium? So calcium, to be adequately deposited in the bone, you actually need vitamin D. For it to be even absorbed and deposited, you need vitamin D. And another important part of the bone is the protein. So there are multiple aspects to how a bone is built. So just calcium will not be sufficient. Your food needs to be and the calcium that is from the dietary source in the form of milk, eggs, and yogurt are much better bioabsorbed, are better absorbed than just popping a pill. Also, calcium pills have their own negative side effects, which again, I'm not going to go into the details. So a dietary source of calcium and vitamin D is far, far better than popping a pill. Now, there are, especially in the West, and I don't think in India, but in the West, there are many foods that are fortified by, the companies with A and D, and those are pretty good sources of vitamin D. Now, not just this is adequate for this to be absorbed and for the, newborn to be laid or not to be reabsorbed, you need protein as well. So your diet should have, for good bone health, your diet should have adequate protein and calcium and vitamin D, preferably all from a dietary source. And one of the best ways to ensure that you get the vitamin D conversion happening is the sunlight, to go out into the sunlight, which is, again, something perhaps as we age, we do less and less. We do not, what is recommended is at least 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight every day to ensure that this vitamin D metabolism happens in the way it is supposed to happen.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Very, very helpful. So, I just wanted to open this up to Surya, Hema, Mathur, Reena, Poonam. Anyone who wants to ask anything?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask a question. For heart health, they say that, you must do some maybe 15, 20 minutes of aerobics to get the heart pumping or the heartbeat up. Is walking adequate? Walking every day with strength, etc., or does one need to do, maybe something more intensive for 15, 20 minutes daily?
Walking is adequate. Many people above the age of 40, 50 at risk for heart disease just walk. That is the basic minimum. As I said earlier, walking for 30 minutes a day. If you are fit enough, or if you've been doing aerobic exercise from childhood, or if you don't have musculoskeletal issues, there is a curve, there's a dose response curve. The more you exercise, the fitter your heart becomes. How that works is your ability to withstand, say, a blocked artery, a heart attack improves because you develop collaterals around the blocked area, and your ability of your oxyhemoglobin curve shifts to the left. There are a lot of scientific issues to that. So all I can say is there is no maximum. If you want to run for an hour a day or do a marathon every week and you can take it, yes, but you don't have to do that. 30 minutes a day is the basic minimum.
Okay, thank you.
And is that enough? Just walking is enough in terms of cardiovascular health? Or is there
Yeah,
anything?
so walking is defined as something that makes you a little bit breathless. If you're chatting to your neighbor on your walk, that means you're not walking fast enough. You should be walking fast enough to make you unable to finish a sentence fully. That is walking, and you need to do a minimum of 30 minutes of it. On a population basis, that's the easiest thing you can do. That is what is recommended. But if you can run for 30 minutes a day, great. If you can play tennis or squash, great. So it all depends on what facilities you have, what motivates you. Personally, I find walking boring. Others may love to walk if they have good company. So you can pick and choose.
Thank you. Hema?
Um,
Hema, is you okay?
Yeah, Subha. Thank you.
Okay, Poonam? Sorry, you were
Ye-
starting. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yes, no, sorry, I started earlier. Continuing with Hema's question about the cardiovascular health, and then Dr. Ram said the 30 minutes of walking, running and playing tennis. But again, with the age, like 50 plus, uh, if people are in good health, they can run. But then again, it comes to the muscle, the knees, joints, those things starts affecting. I mean, how to take care of that muscle loss, the joint protection, but same time taking care of the other internal diseases.
Yeah, so the best way to keep your muscles and joints in good shape is to use them. If you have any form of activity you've been doing from childhood, say you're a dancer or you're a cycler or you have a childhood sport, just keep that up. Don't stop it. Don't listen to people who say you're going to damage your joints. No, your joints will actually become stronger because there is remodeling within the joint. The muscles around them become stronger. Secondly, if you're starting out doing exercise, at middle age or adulthood, as many of us do after completing family responsibilities, etc., then you have to start slow or start low and go slow because there's a risk of your damaging a muscle or tearing a ligament by doing activity which your body is not used to. So you're best doing it under the guidance of a trainer or a physio or of a more experienced person who's used to working out. And you have to combine whatever you're doing with strength training. As we mentioned earlier, it's 5 times cardiovascular activity per week plus 2 times strengthening. And the strengthening has to be under supervision initially, so you don't damage yourself. Any trainer will teach you basic exercises like squats, sit-ups, or push-ups. These are all you can do at home, even without equipment. If you have access to a gym, even better. So the strength training, in addition to the aerobic training, is what creates longevity in terms of ability to exercise.
Or you can join our weekly yoga. Just kidding.
No, but that's what I like. I've been doing yoga for many, many years, like since quite young age. I think I'm in my 20s. But then now, after 50s, I feel that I'm still feeling that the muscle loss, the strength is not there. I'm still able to do those yoga poses and whatever I was able to do it, but like I can feel like the wrist, the fingers, the ring is not fitting into the same ring. This thing, the knees or the ankles, they're cracking or making more this thing. So I'm vegetarian. I take care of like my diet properly, including everything and eating on time. But in spite of all this, like taking care of the health and all, is this just the age thing everybody pass through, or is there something we can do to slower it down and I mean, uh, just your thought on it, like if something is missing in this and or we should change our activity with the age.
No, actually, you're doing a great job. If you've been doing yoga from childhood and you're still doing it, that means you're obviously doing something right. It's part of the aging process. None of us can do what we used to do in our teens or our 20s. It's part of the aging process. It's just useful to accept that and do what you can do now, and move on. It's part of the aging process. You can't reverse the aging process. You can slow it down, but you can never reverse it.
Thank you.
Ram. Thank you, Ram. Reena?
Thank you.
I have an extension of what Poonam just shared, that being on vegetarian diet, being whatever she's been doing, means all of us been doing, in case there had been a fall in the past, and that affects even if we are as young, like under 50. Some of us are over 50, some are still under. So then again, it becomes very restrictive to do the regular stuff. Like at this age, I'm not 50 yet, but picking up a tennis or something else, and I understand with strength training does need something extra than only yoga or only walking. So
Your question, Reena?
so my question is that in between from yoga until gym, in between, how do we find our balance? I've been doing yoga twice a week. I've been doing Pilates, but my bodily whatever muscle loss has been very very fast between last year and this year. And this muscle loss, I am talking from the perspective of the blood test and all those tests which we have done in Singapore.
Yeah, so possibly if you're worried about muscle loss, maybe you need to increase your strength training, doing 2 or 3 sessions of gym training under the supervision of a trainer using some formal weights is the way to go. If you're really worried about muscle loss. Once again, do it under supervision. Don't start doing things on your own. That's a recipe for injury. But if that's your specific issue, you feel you're losing muscle, strength training is the way to go. And if you feel bored doing it on your own, there are group classes, etc., group activities you could do. So it's more interesting and fun.
Thank you.
In terms of diet, is there any way where we can increase it? I really do not understand. Means I don't know. Is there anything in terms of food which can manage help with the slowing the muscle loss progression?
Yeah, one of the things that is important for muscle is protein. I mean, that's obvious. That's why the bodybuilders eat a lot of protein, etc. So the general rule is you need to eat a minimum of 1 gram per kilogram of your body weight. A minimum. Say if you're 70 kilos, you need to eat a minimum of 70 grams of protein, preferably 1.5. So if you're 70 kilos, if you can go up to 100 or 105, even better, but a minimum of 70 grams. And each food has a given amount of protein. We all know foods that are rich in protein. milk products, all types of meat, eggs, paneer, tempeh, all these foods are rich in protein. So you may want to increase your protein intake. If you're a vegetarian, then things like milk products, whey protein would work well for you.
What about all this chickpea and rajma?
Absolutely. Rajma, chickpeas, any kind of lentil has a higher source of protein than carbohydrates like rice and wheat.
Thank you.
Which has the most protein content in terms of when I'm a vegetarian?
I'll let Meenakshi answer that. She usually takes care of our diet at home.
Meenakshi? Uh, Meenakshi, are you able to hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I am. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, and so I think which resonate. I mean, which is like most of the audience here. So I can talk about our protein sources. So, the important, if you can include eggs are a great source of protein, egg whites. But if you cannot, then in our diet, if you can include dairy again is an excellent source of protein, particularly yogurt and milk, of course. And if you are vegan and cannot include dairy, then of course you have choices like what Ram was already saying. All types of lentils can be good sources of protein, and tofu. And if you can withstand the taste and the flavor, then tempeh for sure. And the nuts are again a very good source of protein, like almonds. Peanuts tend to have a little more fat as well, but almonds and walnuts are again great sources of protein. So there is plenty of protein sources available. We at home have switched to taking whey protein, which again is, if you're vegan, it may be difficult, but there are good plant-based proteins available in the form of powders, which can be easily made into a milkshake or added to your existing porridge or other things that you consume. You could just add this depending on the on your weight, and it's an easy form of protein. Protein is again, as I already mentioned, very good to keep you in good weight, and is also very good for musculoskeletal health.
How much protein do we need to have? How do we figure that out?
1 gram per kg body weight.
Thank you, Dr.
Hema?
Yeah, I had a question. The importance of hereditary factors, in these lifestyle diseases. You go to a doctor, you have a little high cholesterol. You tell the doctor that, you're eating very healthy. So, the doctor tells you that, it's just 25% is your lifestyle, and, genes and hereditary factors play a very important role. So just wanted some thoughts on that and, what can be done.
Well, the first part of it is yes, you're absolutely right. Hereditary factors play a major role in our propensity to disease. Meenakshi spoke about osteoporosis, but the strongest association is with cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, and strokes. If you have a family history of a first degree relation, father, mother with a heart attack or a stroke, then your risk immediately goes up. So there's not a whole lot we can do about that because we can't exactly change our parents. But it is one of the things that doctors factor in advising you. For instance, if you have a strong family history of a heart attack or stroke, then we would be extra strict in making sure all your other risk factors are controlled. I mean, smoking is a no-no. You got to get your BP, sugar, weight, etc., and your cholesterol levels under absolute control. So yes, genes are an important risk factor, but we can't change that. So all we can do is to work on all the other risk factors to reduce your overall risk.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Hema, for asking that. I see someone called HS here. I don't know your name. I can only see your initials. Is there something that you would like to ask?
Can I ask if nobody?
Go for it, Hema. Go for it, Hema.
I just wanted to know what your opinion is on taking these cholesterol, anti-cholesterol pills, because there's a lot of controversy about taking statins, to control cholesterol. Any views?
Yeah, so as you said, you're perfectly right. There is a lot of, let's say, discordance between what a layperson or the public feels about statins and what the medical literature says about statins. Just to put it in short, there's a lot of feeling in the lay public that statins cause muscle damage, muscle pain, other side effects, and they're being pushed by the pharma industry. On the other hand, if you look at the scientific literature and medical recommendations, statins are life-saving drugs. They prevent heart attacks, they prevent strokes, and they make you live longer because of the common diseases of aging. All our arteries get blocked as we get older. Statins slow down that process. So how I would put it is, there are two things that decide whether you need a statin. First of all, your overall risk for heart disease. For instance, somebody mentioned that if they have a strong family history, what do we do about it? Even if your cholesterol is normal, if you have a strong family history, we have a scale where we calculate your 10-year risk of a heart attack, and we would put you on a statin if all your other risk factors are high as well. For instance, if you have high blood pressure or you're a diabetic, and if you have a strong family history of heart disease, even if your cholesterol is relatively normal, we would put you on a statin to lower that cholesterol even further because there are multiple risk factors leading to a common endpoint, which is a heart attack.
Very
On the other
insightful.
hand, if you are young and fit and you don't have other risk factors, you can easily get away with a higher cholesterol level because your overall risk is low. So it's individual risk stratification that we do.
That's
Right,
very
thank you.
helpful, very insightful. As the first time I've heard that. So I think there's a question here from Reena, which I will read. She says, please advise if Hashimoto autoimmune need to avoid anything in diet, medical and lifestyle changes in place as per endocrinologist. Not sure if anything to do with hereditary.
I'm not an expert on that, but I'm pretty sure it's an autoimmune disease. This is just a major form of systemic allergy where your body produces antibodies against your thyroid gland. It has nothing to do with diet, as far as I'm aware, and it is treated by medications that reduce your immunity, like corticosteroids. It's an autoimmune disease, nothing to do with diet.
Thank you, Reena, for asking that. Murli, I know you've been late, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to ask the same thing with you, Raj. Anything that any of you wants to ask before we, start
I
to wind
just have
down.
a question,
Go for it.
if I may.
Yes, HS. What's your
Yeah.
name?
I'm Harini.
Hi, Harini.
Hi.
Hi, hi.
So my question is actually regarding supplements which are often recommended. As Indians, we are notoriously low on vitamin D, irrespective of, half an hour, 20 minutes, 2 hours in the sunshine. And as vegetarians, again, low in your vitamin B, B12s and things like that. So how important is it to supplement these as pills or something else? Because sometimes your diet really doesn't give you enough of all of this.
I would say that supplements are perfectly harmless. If you want to pop a vitamin D or a vitamin B12 pill per day in small amounts every day, please go ahead. It all depends on how complete you feel your diet is. If you're following a lot of dietary fads, you're into eating a specific type of food, say a high protein diet or some kind of specific fad type diet, or you're intensely dieting in an effort to lose weight, then sometimes the completeness of your food gets compromised and you may be deficient in particular vitamins. It's certainly helpful to add vitamins in that situation. But if you're taking a general balanced diet, plenty of vegetables, plenty of protein, low salt, kind of less refined carbohydrates,
very just now Harini asked is related to immunity sort of medications. Like sort of products have a lot of the immunity stuff similar to Chawanaprash and all that, which they recommend that plus 40, plus 50, you should take that. It always helps you as you move forward and you start losing muscles and so on and so forth. What is your recommendation around these immunity support products?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what Amway markets. I've heard the name, but I don't know what's in their products. As I said, many of these things are driven from because people want to make money selling their products. I would emphasize that if you have a well balanced diet, as I said, the basic ingredients, then you probably don't need these products. They're useful only when you're not eating. Say an elderly person is not able to get adequate food, or you have other medical issues which prevent you from eating a balanced diet. As a general rule, I would say eat a balanced diet. Don't worry too much about these products.
Thanks, Ram.
I have a question for Dr. Meenakshi. If you haven't had an hysterectomy and you are prone because of family history to osteoporosis and all that, is just having calcium D and do you have to go for a medication or something like that to help prevent fractures and things like that?
Yeah, good question. So, yes, if you have family history of osteoporosis, then you should have your bone density measured by something called a bone scan, a DEXA scan, which actually measures the amount of bone that is reducing with age. So it basically tells you whether you have the early stages of bone loss, which is called osteopenia, or you have started actually losing bone to a more alarming degree, which is osteoporosis. So based on what your scan says and your family history, then the doctor can put you on supplements that can strengthen your bone. Now, these are expensive and have to be taken lifelong. And some are available. I think most are available as an injectable, if I recall. So so again, I want to emphasize that if you do have family history and you have your ovaries intact, which means you've not had ovaries taken out along with your uterus, then it is advisable that even in the premenopausal years, you start measuring your bone density. Don't wait till even menopause, even earlier, even in your late 40s, start measuring your bone density once in a few years, actually. And then the doctor, based on the scan, can decide whether you are a candidate for supplementation to strengthen the bone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hema. So I wanted to also share with all of you, if you have no other questions, Dr. Meenakshi and Ram and we at Being Sattva in Bali, together with me, I will be, performing the role of someone who takes you out into nature, into treks, and also we'll be doing the active yoga work at Being Sattva in Bali. Our idea is to be able to live a lifestyle which you would have an opportunity to discuss with the doctor and also live a diet and a lifestyle for a period of 3 to 4 days. And as we go along, look at what are the responses that you're finding. And if you have any questions, you'll be able to ask that. That was our intention of what we're planning in Jan 14 to 18. And of course, there'll be outdoor and there will be indoor work that we will be doing. And you will have an opportunity to meet with both Ram and Meenakshi. It's difficult to be able to get this experienced input from experienced doctors I've been struggling to catch them on the phone. So, yeah, I want to leave that with all of you. Any further questions you have about the retreat or about anything else that you want to ask? Nothing else? Hema? Am I
Yeah,
frozen
Subha,
again?
will there be like a shorter version or is it like a 5 day?
5 days is 4 nights. Okay, if you want to come for a shorter
I
version,
think your voice is breaking, Subha. Your voice is breaking.
is this better today? My internet is, I'm having a lot of problems here. Let me try to switch network and speak.
Hmm.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you know, Hema, if you come for 5 days, 4 nights, you effectively get 3 days, 3 full days. If you want to have a shorter version, you will get less than that. That's about it. You are most welcome to join.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so you have a time pressure at that time?
No, not sure, Subha. I'll try 5 days, but I'll come back to you on this.
Yeah, you are most welcome to come for a shorter version. But I would not recommend that you
Yeah.
come for a very short version like 2
Yeah.
nights and 3. I mean,
Yeah.
it becomes very.
Yeah. No point. Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
No.
You want to have some quality time and try out a few
Mm.
things and make sure you're
Yeah.
able to go back equipped with some both knowledge and practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Hema, Poonam, Reena, anything from you people?
I think I've asked the questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Poonam?
No, I'm good. This has been wonderful, very nice. So most probably you'll see me there in January. I have yet to just fix my dates of travel. So if I come, I will come for full session. Otherwise, I'll have to skip it. So
Yeah, I look forward to, yeah.
sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you, Poonam. Reena, you're good? Hema, you wanted to say something? I saw you. No, it's okay. Harini, Raj, Murli.
Yeah, hi, Subha. So, I think I joined very late, so I really missed the entire session. But whatever I could get out of the Q&A sessions, it was good. So, hi, Meenakshi. Hi, Ram.
I'll have the recording sent over to you, Murli.
Oh, that'll be so nice of you. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have anything to ask, Murli, at this point?
No, not at the moment. No. Thanks.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you all. Specifically, thank you to Meenakshi and Ram for joining today. I know you've taken a little bit time out of your weekend. Thank you so much for that. And we'll be in touch with all of you. I'll have the recording sent over. Vidya, thank you so much for your support for joining today. And yeah, see you all. I hope to see some of you in Bali and be in touch. Please feel free to ask any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.